At the beginning of the story, Alina and her dad are having a heartfelt conversation. Her dad comforts her, acknowledging how much she misses her mom, especially on such a difficult day. He encourages her to stay strong and face life with courage. Meanwhile, the city is in chaos as a series of murders and disappearances unfold. The police are investigating but have no leads. Even criminals are not safe. Recently, a thief named Arkin vanished, and his wife begged for his release, but her pleas went unheard. The story shifts back to Alina, who receives a call from her boyfriend, Brian. He tells her he's busy and won't be able to meet her. Shortly after, her friend Macy calls, asking her to join her at a party. Initially, Alina refuses, but when she sees Macy waiting outside her house, she reluctantly agrees to go. At the club, Alina is devastated to find Brian kissing another girl. Furious, she punches him and storms into another room. Unbeknownst to everyone, a masked killer known as the Collector is also in the club. The Collector is infamous for collecting the bodies of his victims. In the room, Alina discovers a strange box. When she opens it, a man named Arkin emerges. He urgently tells her to duck, as a trap is triggered upon the box's opening. An arrow shoots out from the wall, activating a series of deadly traps that begin killing people in the club. Brian narrowly escapes death when he falls to the ground. Arkin pleads for Alina's help, but she panics and runs. As she escapes, she witnesses Brian being brutally killed by a trap. Arkin, meanwhile, finds a wire and frees himself from a chain tied around his leg. In another part of the club, people, including Macy, try to hide in an elevator. However, the Collector sabotages the elevator, causing it to crush and kill everyone inside, including Macy. Terrified, Alina runs deeper into the club, but the Collector chases her. She tries to escape, but he captures her. Arkin, despite breaking his arm, jumps out of a window and manages to escape. In a grim twist, the Collector locks Alina in the same box that Arkin had been in and leaves with her. Arkin is in the hospital, unconscious after being taken to a safe place. In his dreams, he relives the terrifying torture he endured at the hands of the Collector. When he wakes up, he is overjoyed to see his wife by his side. However, his happiness fades when he notices a flower nearby with a note. The flower was sent by the Collector with a message that reads, "Get well soon, I want to meet you." This terrifies Arkin. He urges his wife to leave immediately and go to her mother's house without telling anyone. After she leaves, a man named Lucy Lowe, sent by Alina's father, approaches Arkin. Lucy shows him a photo of Alina and asks if she might still be alive. Arkin replies that if her body hasn't been found, then she might still be alive. Hearing this, Lucy reveals that he has a team ready to rescue her. He promises Arkin that if he helps, all the charges against him will be dropped. In a flashback, we see Alina's mother dying in a car accident. Alina was trapped inside the car, and her injured father was unable to help her. A man arrived and saved Alina, pulling her from the wreckage. Suddenly, Alina wakes up. It was all a dream. She finds herself locked inside the Collector's box. Peeking through a hole, she sees a man tied up nearby. To her horror, the Collector appears and cuts off the man's tongue, brutally killing him. Meanwhile, Arkin agrees to help Lucy's team but refuses to enter the Collector's building. He reveals that while he was trapped in the Collector's box, he marked his hands to remember the way out. Using these markings, he guides Lucy's team to the Collector's base. Inside the base, Alina works to free herself. She uses a hidden tool in her bracelet to unlock the box and escape. Nearby, she finds another box containing the mutilated body of a man. Horrified, she hides as the Collector enters the room. She notices that he has placed another disfigured body in the room. When the Collector realizes that Alina has escaped, he releases a swarm of spiders to find her. Meanwhile, Lucy's team triggers an alarm while opening the door to the building. Hearing the alarm, the Collector leaves to confront the intruders, giving Alina a chance to plan her next move. Arkin refuses to enter the building, but Lucy Lowe threatens to kill him. Lucy reminds him of their deal. Arkin's job is to lead them to the collector, and they will handle the rest. Reluctantly, Arkin agrees, and Lucy's men enter the building while Lucy stays at the door, waiting. Inside, Alina tries to escape through a tunnel but notices dogs guarding the area above it. Terrified, she hesitates. Meanwhile, outside the building, the collector attacks and brutally kills one of Lucy's men. As Arkin moves ahead, a woman suddenly attacks him. Lucy's team shoots her and discovers her tongue was cut off, and she was drugged, turned into a zombie-like creature to be used as a weapon. They also find numerous human corpses scattered around. Before they can make sense of it, they are attacked by more zombie-like people, forcing them to retreat into another room to save themselves. Alina, still trying to escape, reaches another room through the tunnel. There, she finds a box with a woman's voice coming from inside. Alina frees the woman, who introduces herself as Abby. Alina asks if Abby knows the way out, but Abby warns that escaping is nearly impossible since the collector will easily find them. Despite this, Alina convinces Abby to follow her. Meanwhile, Lucy's team encounters a man in terrible condition, crying that he couldn't do what the collector wanted. The man suddenly explodes, activating a deadly trap that kills some of Lucy's companions. In the chaos, Arkin slips away and navigates a dangerous path to another room with flickering lights. Taking advantage of the darkness, the collector tries to attack him, but Arkin notices and escapes. Elsewhere, Alina and Abby continue moving forward. Abby confesses that the collector seems to like her and reveals that Alina is hearing impaired. Abby becomes panicked and starts shouting that the collector will catch them. Just then, the collector arrives, shocking Abby into freezing in fear. Alina manages to save Abby and escapes through another tunnel. Arkin, searching for Alina, finds a tunnel filled with corpses. He hears someone approaching and hides. It turns out to be one of Lucy's companions, trying to open the tunnel door. This causes a body hanging nearby to fall, but the companion continues and reaches a room filled with dead bodies preserved in glass tanks for some kind of experimentation. Arkin moves further and finds a woman nailed to the wall. Before he can help her, the collector arrives. Arkin hides as the collector brutally kills the woman by slitting her throat. Once the collector leaves, Arkin emerges and leaves the room, determined to continue his search. Alina wakes up outside a window and sees two men. She calls for help. Meanwhile, Arkin arrives at a hole and is suddenly attacked by Lucy Lowe's men, who believe he has betrayed them. As this happens, the collector appears and brutally kills one of the men using a hook, also killing a woman nearby. A soldier is captured, leaving only Arkin and Lucy Lowe alive. Arkin tries to convince Lucy Lowe that they should work together to survive, but Lucy insists that she won't abandon Alina, whom she raised since childhood. Soon they meet Abby, who tells them she knows where Alina is because Alina had helped her. Abby leads them, but along the way, they hear the voice of a female soldier screaming for help. Arkin insists they help, so Lucy Lowe goes ahead while telling Arkin and Abby to stay behind. When Lucy Lowe reaches the source of the voice, she realizes it's coming from a speaker. Arkin also figures this out and warns Lucy Lowe to leave. Suddenly, bombs hidden in dummies start to explode, but Lucy narrowly escapes. Meanwhile, Alina finds the female soldier and frees her. Lucy Lowe and the others arrive, and Alina is happy to see Lucy. However, when she notices Abby, Alina begins shouting that Abby is dangerous and untrustworthy. Outside, Arkin spots two men and shoots one, injuring him, to alert the police to their location. Abby locks everyone inside, believing the collector will come for her. She calls him through a camera, but the female soldier punches Abby, causing her to fall into a trap where she is killed brutally. The collector arrives with his dog, which attacks Arkin. The collector shoots at them, but Arkin kills the dog with a knife. When the collector sees Abby dead, he takes Alina and escapes. Lucy Lowe becomes trapped in a deadly mechanism and tells Arkin and the female soldier to save Alina. They find Alina but are locked in a cage together when they try to free her. The collector appears, sets fire to a fuel tank, and spreads fuel around the building. To escape, Arkin breaks his plastered hand to open the cage lock. They flee through a tunnel as the building catches fire. The police outside, unaware of what's happening, panic when they see the flames. Inside, the collector attacks Arkin and his group, killing the female soldier. Before he can harm Arkin, Lucy Lowe frees herself using the dead dog and confronts the collector. Though the collector beats her severely, Arkin injures him with a knife and beats him brutally. Alina, surrounded by fire, bangs on the door for help. The noise alerts the police, but they cannot get inside. Arkin throws the collector into the tunnel and sets it on fire. As Arkin tries to escape, he becomes trapped by the flames. Alina breaks a glass tank filled with water, extinguishing the fire and saving Arkin's life. The police finally break down the door and rescue them. Alina is overjoyed to see her father, who arrives to check on her. The police discover numerous dead bodies in the building. However, Arkin realizes the collector has escaped. In the final scene, an unknown man senses someone in his house and grabs a knife to investigate. Suddenly, Arkin appears with a gun. He reveals that he has found the man, who is the collector, and vows to take revenge for all the pain he caused. Before the collector can react, Arkin attacks him and locks him in a box, ending the story.